Liu Yuning's heartbreaking confession shocks fans worldwide. A debate-igniting emotional news story for Celeb Buzz Insider. What if everything you believed about Liu Yuning was wrong? What if the calm, smiling superstar you see on stage has been hiding a truth so heavy it nearly broke him? Tonight, the entire internet is in shock because Liu Yuning finally spoke up. And what he revealed has fans worldwide arguing, defending, crying, and demanding answers. This is Celeb Buzz Insider, and today we're diving deep into the confession that changed everything. For months, something felt off. Fans of Liu Yuning, affectionately called Ning fans, kept noticing tiny signs. The tired eyes, the quiet pauses, the nervous smile he forced during live streams. But every time someone asked, he brushed it off with a laugh, saying, "I'm fine. Really. Don't worry." Except, people were worried. And the more he tried to reassure everyone, the more uneasy the fandom became. It felt like watching someone hold a door shut while something huge pushed from the other side. But no one expected this. No one predicted that Liu Yuning, a man known for his stoic strength and gentle humor, would suddenly drop a confession so raw, the entire comment section froze. It happened during what was supposed to be a normal, relaxed livestream. He was reading fan comments, smiling, sipping tea, joking lightly like he always does. Then out of nowhere he went quiet. For 10 long seconds he said nothing. His hand lowered. His expression dropped. It wasn't dramatic, it was real. And then he said it. A confession so unexpected, so emotionally charged. Fans replayed the moment thousands of times within an hour. He said he was tired, not physically, but tired of pretending everything was perfect. Tired of taking the blame for things he didn't do. Tired of being misunderstood no matter how hard he worked. He said one line that instantly lit the internet on fire. "I can take criticism, but I can't take being judged for things I never said." That sentence, simple but painfully honest, went viral within minutes. Fans were stunned. Some were heartbroken. Some were furious. And some demanded to know what exactly pushed him to say this. The debates exploded. Who judged him unfairly? What happened behind the scenes? Why did he reach this breaking point? Did the industry push him too far? Why didn't he speak earlier? Twitter, forums, livestream reaction channels. Everyone had a theory. But one thing was clear. People could feel the pain in his voice. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't a performance. This was Liu Yuning reaching a threshold he'd been avoiding for far too long. And that authenticity made the confession even more shocking. Here's the part that shook fans even more. Liu Yuning explained that he had been dealing with unfair criticism, not just recently but for years. He described moments where he would log in to see people misinterpreting his words, twisting his intentions, assuming things about him without knowing the full context. He said, "I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue. But silence doesn't mean I'm not hurting." That line alone shattered millions of hearts. For so long, people saw him as the strong, unshakable figure, the man who rises above everything. But behind that strength was a person who had been holding back oceans of emotion. And suddenly fans realized. He wasn't breaking down. He was finally setting boundaries. Just when the comment section was drowning in tears and anger, Liu Yuning surprised everyone. He said he wasn't sharing this to gain sympathy. He wasn't trying to create drama. He wasn't looking for a fight. Then he looked into the camera, calm, steady, and said, "I'm telling you this because I want to move forward honestly. No walls. No masks. If you stay with me, stay because you know the real me." That sentence flipped the entire mood. From heartbreak to admiration. From shock to unity. From confusion to clarity. It was the moment fans realized. This wasn't a breakdown. This was growth. This was Liu Yuning choosing honesty over perfection. Within an hour, fan communities across the world mobilized like an emotional army. People posted encouraging messages. Artists created comforting fan art. Comment sections turned into walls of support saying, "We hear you. You're not alone. Speak your truth, we're with you. You don't have to be perfect for us to love you." And one comment, repeated thousands of times, stood out. "Liu Yuning, you don't owe perfection to anyone." That overwhelming wave of warmth became the healing the fandom didn't know they needed. Because yes, this confession shocked everyone. But it also united them in a deeper, more powerful way. This is where the story gets even bigger. While millions supported him, another debate began swirling. Should a public figure reveal this much personal emotion? Some argued yes, transparency builds trust. Others hesitated, worried he might face more criticism for showing vulnerability. But here's the truth. No matter which side people stood on, they couldn't stop talking about it. The discussion became global, spanning fans, media outlets, reaction channels, and industry insiders. And that intense conversation raised the story to another level of visibility. It wasn't just a confession anymore. It had become a cultural moment. A moment where people realized that even the strongest public figures are still human. Even fans who were shocked eventually came to a profound realization. This confession wasn't a moment of weakness. It was a demonstration of strength. Because it takes courage to admit emotional exhaustion. It takes bravery to speak up when staying silent is easier. It takes honesty to tell millions of followers that you're hurting, and trust them to understand. And that's why this moment hit so deeply. People saw not just the performer, but the person. Not just the idol, but the man who tries his best every day despite pressures no one sees. Now the world waits. Fans are wondering, will Liu Yuning become more open moving forward? Will this confession change the way the public views him? Will it shift his relationship with the entertainment industry? Or will he retreat again now that he has said his piece? These questions keep the story alive. A spark of uncertainty that makes people crave the next update. And trust me, the next chapter is coming. Because once someone opens the door of honesty, you can't ever fully close it again. In the end, Liu Yuning's heartbreaking confession wasn't just a moment of emotional release. It was a reminder, to fans, to critics, to the world, that even the brightest stars carry shadows. That behind every perfect performance, there is a real person fighting silent battles. Tonight, Liu Yuning chose to stop hiding. And in doing so, he lit a flame of conversation, compassion, and unity that's spreading across the internet. And as always, this is Celeb Buzz Insider bringing you the stories behind the spotlight, the emotions behind the fame, and the truth behind the moments that shake the world. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over.
You say slow down.